I'm back. This is part 2 of that rant I did in the last video where I talked about how gaming has come so far because technology is the first thing. Next is gaming because gaming games are what keep us entertained. They give us ideas. They're the reasons why we don't have to come up with our own ideas. They're for people who lack the creativity of their own, but can help them branch their creativity to something else. Now, if you don't know what I mean is back when I was a kid, I didn't know a lot about art and whatnot. All I had was comic books and cartoons. That was back when I was a kid before everything was connected to where you can watch almost anything. Nowadays, you can watch movies after they come out from your comfort of your home. Back then, you had to wait for them to come out on VHS. If you don't know what VHS is, I won't explain it. But later on came DVDs, and then they were straight to DVD movies. Basically, movies that didn't get enough rating to get into theaters, basically. You might know them as kid movies, such as, I don't know, Aladdin, Little Mermaid. I don't think I ever remember those being in theaters. First, I think the first cartoon movie that I remember seeing in theaters was Pokemon, the first movie. Oh, shout out to you Pokemon fans out there. I even have that movie on DVD. I used to have the first movie soundtrack. If you know, and it was on a cassette. Not a VHS cassette, but a small little cassette where it's basically like CDs, but except instead of skipping back to a song, all you had to do was like flip the thing around or flip the cassette around, and you'll be able to listen to the songs all over again. So now you can watch people from across the world. You can watch people play games across the world. Now, another thing I want to get into about technology is, okay, just like I said, you're watching this because, well, you saw me as entertaining at one point in one of my other videos. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe just had some time to kill. But back then, there wasn't a lot of time to kill. There wasn't a lot of ways to kill time is what I meant to say. Um, Nowadays, you can pick up a game console. Look, there's two. Heck, I've got a third one around here somewhere. About that. Hey, look, there's three. But what I mean is that back then you had to make your own fun. You had to play with other kids in the playground outside your apartment building. You had to play with kids at school. There was no texting, IMing. It was more of a up close social thing because there were no ways to connect around with other people from far long distance. And another thing I gotta say is texting has made a lot of things easier, but it feels like everything's gone disconnected. Like back back when I was a kid, well, back when I was a kid, sorry about that. Back when I was a kid, growing up, I should say is a better term to say, is that when me and my family first moved to Florida, we were thousands of miles away from our family. They were up north. We were in the south. Yeah, we were in the south, and there was this big distance gap between communication and, like I said, phones weren't. Not everyone had a phone they could just pick up and call someone if they wanted to, or text, because the world wasn't connected the way it is now. Which I'm pretty sure you've probably heard by from another YouTuber, by another person, by another family member that's close by. That's because you can talk to them when they're close by. Um, when I think about it, I think it as the world's come the world's come this far. Whether we're arguing with someone, whether someone's causing some uh let's say ratchetness out there somewhere, um, or whether causing conflict, whether being stupid, whether being smart ass, the world is different. And gaming, if I had to say in a way, some people take gaming as just a joke, you know, trolls. Um, there are other gamers who I found a way to take this as a way to connect, make a connection. I guess that's what this video is a little more about, is the fact that gaming has become a part of a community, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Facebook. Well, I can't really say Facebook. I don't think there's any games on Facebook. But, okay, wait, never mind. I take that back. There's Candy Crush, Candy Saga, Bubble Witch, all these different games where they ask you, there's a way to share your gaming with someone else. I know because, well, I get random uh, invites to play the game from other family members who play the game. Now, I may not have talked to them in a while, which I probably should more, but I stay I stay into my own little world, just like everyone else would. I guess you could say I have this tendency to look at the immediate world around me. I see what it could be in the future, but I don't see what can cause the different changes that I expect. So basically, if I can look around this room and say, "Oh, I want to change this the way I want it to be," doesn't mean some outside for doesn't mean I take it for granted. Doesn't mean I take in the fact that an outside force might change it outside of my expectations. I think I've gone off the subject, but what I mean is, when you can communicate with people, whether it's in games, technology has come a way where the world is a little more connected. I want to stick to the subject of games, but I don't. I think I'm branching off from it. Anyway, uh, I think one reason why people watch reactors is because there's another voice that they don't see in their everyday lives. There's a person's voice that they don't hear in their everyday lives. One that can make a difference, one that can make a change, ones that can uplift a person's spirit. Sometimes it brings them down because they say, "Okay, I'm not like this person." I've felt it a lot of times before making a YouTube channel. I wanted to be able to be one of those reactors that have made a connection with somebody. No, I want to be able to say those same things that the reactors would be able to say. That I've lit a fire in somebody where they felt a passion to do something. Probably you'd probably hear this same thing from another YouTuber or another person you know, or this may just feel like a speech, but in a way it is. In a way, it's what we felt because we've been affected by someone else. We've wanted to share someone else's message with an audience, or the person next to us, or the person who's hundreds of miles away. We all feel that there's a connection to be made, and it's not just a hand being held out, it's whether you can put your hand out and grab that hand. I think I'm heard someone else say this before, but uh, I don't remember. All I know is that the world's becoming connected. There is just as is this positive speech. There's also negative feelings that come out from other people who haven't found their right connection. Whether you can say the person doesn't like to be have anyone around them, or people who just don't see the world as connected as some people would say. Just know there's something out there. Whether you're a gamer like me, or I'm not much of a gamer as I used to be. I used to play games dawn to dusk till dawn. Used to be almost my whole thing because I grew up with games. My first my first game console that I could call my own was a Game Boy Color. It was yellow, and I liked it because it reminded me of Pikachu. Back then, back then, the game was just something I could be immerse myself into a little world of my own. Whether it's not whether I've created it or not, but it's a world to look out into an adventure. I didn't worry about getting stronger. I just worried about getting my favorite Pokemon into my party, and I often felt conflicted. I think that's the right term. Um, about not having all of my favorite Pokemon with me because you can only carry six, and I wanted to be able to say I put my love and care into this Pokemon. Why can't I keep it with me? Um, if I were to say this to my younger self would probably cry a lot more to see that his older self has lost his touch with what he thought he would love forever. Um, that probably sounds super depressing. Um, I'm just saying that games was one of the things I grew up with that opened me up to a world that was outside of what I knew. Because as a kid, I was naive. I only knew the world around me. By the world around me, I mean my everyday routine. Whether it was going to school, coming home, doing homework, watching TV, and then going to sleep and then doing it all again. That was my routine daily. Sometimes I'd hang out with family. Sometimes I wouldn't. I'd get mad about it, but I was a kid. It was what I had growing up. Sorry, this video is going on a little longer. I'll make it a part 3. Well, anyway, like, comment, and subscribe. Who knows? Maybe you see yourself in this video. Alright. See you next time.